Hi, my name is Peter Oakes. I've noticed over the past couple of months that there is a consistent lack of understanding of how to use Arduino IDE programming. Not so much using the IDE, but how to actually go about doing programs. Even simple things like reading the serial input port and making some kind of decision within your program of what to do with what you've read. A lot of difficulty in taking anything more than a single character, and in some cases even just processing single character inputs. I know there are a lot of examples already out there, but I would assume that these may not be doing the job to the satisfaction of the people that are watching them. And in some cases, people are building programs and running out of memory and various other issues, and they're just not aware of what's happening. Even though at a simple level they can get things working, as they start to grow their programs and do more advanced things, uh, bad things start to happen. And the user that's writing the software is just left with this sense of bewilderment and just scratching their head trying to figure out what's going on. So what I'm going to do is put together a number of lessons. So far, I've identified 8 lessons that will slowly take us through learning how to use programming. Now, I'm not going to teach you all the nuances of how to program in C. What I'm going to present is a bunch of pieces of functionality that, as we go through the lessons, will be added together and we'll end up with something potentially quite useful at the end of it. Don't know what that is yet because I haven't decided. But the first thing that we need to do is simply look at how do we collect input from a user of the system, whether that be from a serial port, from an Ethernet port, or from a button, and how do we actually action some kind of functionality based on that input. So I'm going to start with just basic serial port inputs, and then I'm going to use it to get input from an Ethernet, and then I'm going to combine the two so that you can get input from a Ethernet port or a serial port and not have to duplicate a whole bunch of functionality deciding what to do. Now, at the point we start doing this, you start getting to quite a big sketch. So what I'll also do is add some techniques that will allow you to minimize how much RAM is being consumed by your program. It's always very, very difficult to know how much RAM there is, and there's a little function that I've added to this sketch, or at least not the very, very first one, but the second one that you will see that allows you to report on it. But what I've also done is added some compiler functionality that allows you to turn on some kind of debug functionality while you're writing your code, but then you can turn it off again once you've got everything running to recover a bit of space. Anyway, so this is kind of like the intro video or intro discussion. And what I'm going to do now is just close this off and start another video specifically on lesson 0, how big is an empty sketch? Because one of the themes that we're going to be sticking with all the way through these lessons is managing memory and trying to optimize it and being aware of what is being consumed by what. I won't necessarily cover everything, but hopefully by the end of it, you will learn a huge amount of basic programming skills that will allow you to move forward and create some sketches of your own that can be very useful and still fit within an Arduino Uno. I'm going to try and keep everything on the Uno as far as I can because that's obviously the basic one that's most popular out there. So anyway, let's get into it. So now just close this video and bring up lesson 0.